Hey comic book fans, welcome back to the Comic Fix. Now today is a brand new video where I am going to be doing a vlog about some of the stuff that I'm thinking about and noticing on my DC Comics. So this week I was looking at my comic shop and I was looking at all these beautiful comics and I noticed a trend with DC Comics. Right now they have gone crazy with crossovers. Now, when the New 52 set out, one thing that they set out to do was make every single book new reader friendly and a great jumping on point. Well, we are 17 months into the New 52, and they've gone crazy with all these crossovers. We have the Throne of Atlantis crosses over between Justice League and Aquaman. We got Death of the Family, which is mainly taking place in Batman, but it is also in about 6 other books with the Death of the Family crossover name on it. Then we got the crossover, the Superman crossover with Hell on Earth with Superboy, Superman, and Supergirl. And then we also had the crossover going on between Green Lantern with Rise of the Third Army, which is going on between Green Lantern Corps, Green Lantern New Guardians, and Red Lanterns. So we got a ton of books right now that are going through crossovers in the New 52. As I previously stated, when the New 52 started, it was going to be new reader friendly. That's what they set out to do, and they did that. I was one of those readers. I was a casual reader reading mostly in trades. Well, the New 52 started, I started to read them in the floppy issues. So I was like, great, okay, you got me. I was one of the demographic that you wanted to get. And when the New 52 started, a lot of people were crying out loud because there was no real sync with all these different characters. They were mostly just going on their own book, going on their own ventures. They weren't crossing over with one another. DC Comics heard that, and so what we got out of it is all these crossovers in all their books. And as I was at my comic book store today, I usually talk to some of the people around there. It's a lot of new people, and they're ask everybody, hey, where do I start? And I'm one of the guys who were right there to say, hey, this is where you should start. But then I looked at all the New 52 stuff, and I was like, you cannot start on half of these. Half of these are on terrible points where new fans could jump on. And the worst part is, most of these books that people want to jump on at are the main titles for DC Comics with Batman, Justice League, and Green Lantern. So DC Comics is kind of shooting themselves in the foot with all these crossovers. But on the other hand, we got Marvel, who's really crazy about doing every single 6 months having an event happen where all the books started to cross over with one another, and it's more on a major scale. Where DC Comics is kind of scaling back, especially after all the fiasco that happened with the Final Crisis, and they're kind of just doing a different take than what Marvel's doing. And it's interesting to point to that the time that all these crossovers are taking place in the wintertime, where mostly the big crossover and big events are the summer blockbusters, which we see during summertime. So it's very interesting to see where DC Comics is putting all these crossovers in at. So let's get into these crossovers individually. Starting with Justice League of America with Throne of Atlantis. It's the crossover that's coming in between Aquaman and Justice League. This is part 3 of that. If you notice on the cover, there's no indication of what part you're reading in the Throne of Atlantis, which is kind of, for a new reader, they will go in and go, okay, it's a Throne of Atlantis, a new story arc, but well, it's more than that. So I would actually like to see DC Comics go and put either a 3rd issue out of whatever, instead of those little cue cards which you can go get at your little comic book shop that gives you all the comics that are going to be in this crossover event. So I would like to see DC Comics put a number 3 in there for the 3rd part in the Throne of Atlantis. So with Throne of Atlantis, it's definitely a crossover in the whole sense where you have to be reading Aquaman to understand what's going on. Justice League, and the same is for that. If you're reading Aquaman, you have to read Justice League to know what's going on. There's a lot of people out there that especially I've been watching their videos, they've been saying that they follow Justice League but not Aquaman, and they're kind of pissed off that they have to go follow Aquaman, which is kind of what DC's doing with the crossover, and it's letting other readers say, oh, there's actually some good stuff going on over in Aquaman. Which is actually really good, because Aquaman has been badass in the New 52, and everyone should be reading him. So this crossover event is brand new, and I think is only for a couple months, so I'm not really harping on this one. Now, the Death of the Family. Death of the Family has been really freaking fantastic, and I like the way that they actually done this crossover. You have Batman, which is the main dish for this crossover. Everything you need to know, you could just read that Batman and understand what's going on. With all the other crossovers going with it, with Nightwing, Batman and Robin, Red Hood, Batgirl, and even Teen Titans, they're all just there to enrich the experience that's happening in Batman for you to understand what is going on with the Joker and how everything works. So you could go in and just read Nightwing issues 15 or 14 to 16 and understand what's going on. And I like how you don't have to be reading all these other books to understand what's going on in Batman, where you just read Batman and just know exactly what's going on. So I think Death of the Family has actually done a really fantastic job with all these crossovers, where I go to that new reader and be like, hey, you can actually go and pick up issues 14 to 16 and understand what's going on, and you don't have to read Batman to understand what's going on. But to read them all just enriches the experience. Where I think the Death of the Family failed at was at the point where they had Catwoman. I don't hate it in the Senate. I just don't like her writing style. I don't like the way that she has portrayed some of my favorite characters in Green Arrow and in Catwoman. I don't buy her books, which I will be buying her Katana book because it's Katana. Katana's a freaking badass. But that was the only crossover where I was just like, you just throw that away. But all the other ones have been really fantastic, and anybody can just jump on at any point in the Death of the Family and know what's going on right away. So props to all the editorial team in the Batman family book lines for making a really good crossover that new readers can come on. Unlike Hell on Earth in Superman and the Superman family books, this crossover right here is probably about 3 months long, and about, I would say, since with the annuals, that'll be 3, 6, maybe about 16 books are in this Hell on Earth crossover. And with that, you have to read each and every single one of the Superman family book line to understand what's going on. You cannot just go and pick up Supergirl and be reading Supergirl and be like, oh, I get what's going on. There's points in here, especially with Tom DeFalco in his Superboy run, he tries to have a page where he explains everything that's going on with the Hell on Earth storyline. I wish kind of DC did what Marvel does, where they have, especially in their X books, the first page being a page where it just explains to all the new readers what's going on. So if you're not reading any of the other books in Superman family line, forget trying to jump into this series. There's no point in here where I'd be like, okay, you could jump in at this point. Nope, you have to start on the very first one and catch up. We're probably about 13 books in, and God, there's no point in this story where a new reader can jump in and enjoy the ride. And it's sad to see, because I want new readers to come in, especially with DC Comics. They're doing something special, and I just love these characters, and I'm just sad to see that DC's editorial team with Superman Hell on Earth story arc is not letting new readers come in and enjoy themselves. I think there's like three annuals that have come out for this Superman family, or Superman Hell on Earth story arc also. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to put this thing out in trades, if it's going to be part 1 and part 2, because that's what I think they're probably going to do, or it's going to be one hell of an expensive book. But other than that, I've actually liked what they've done with this series, and with the Hell on Earth, they have actually brought foundation to the Superman family book line. So once this series is done, and people like Roger, who I have told him, I was like, man, I really wish you would get into this series, but there's no real good jumping on point, so you can actually get the whole story. So, Superman family, Supergirl and the Superman and all the family books with the super in it have failed, I believe, with the Hell on Earth, with letting new readers in. But it's a damn good story, and I hope that people start picking it up, especially after Hell on Earth is done. And the last one is Rise of the Third Army, which has been one of the most disappointing crossovers that has happened. Rise of the Third Army is the Guardians taking control and wanting to destroy all emotion and throughout the galaxy. So what do? They create a new army, which is the Third Army, which is part of them, and they're just these zombie type of things that go and decimate planets. And it's interesting though, because in every single book that's in the Green Lantern line with Green Lantern, the New Guardians, and the Green Lantern Corps, and Red Lanterns, each one have had a separate path to go on, and the Third Army have been in the background, and so at any point, really, anybody can jump into the series. And as Jeff Johns has said, that Third Army is more of a setup for the bigger event that's going to be happening soon. So it's going to be interesting to see where this thing's taking place, and I think that this crossover event is not really a crossover whatsoever, but it's been handled pretty nicely where new readers can come in. So in the end, the only two that I have really big problems with is these two crossovers right here with the Superman Hell on Earth and the Throne of Atlantis. These ones, there's really not going to be any good jumping on point for any new readers to come and enjoy it, and they're not going to know what the hell's going on if they try. So that's it for this video. It's just me kind of just ranting about what's happening with DC Comics and their whole going crazy with these books and these crossover events that they're doing. But it's interesting though. You definitely see that DC Comics is a company that listens to their fans, and they're like, okay, we hear you guys not liking that we're not having as much interactions between each and every book, so here we go. Here's a whole bunch of books for you guys to love and interact with and see all these characters interacting with each other. One thing I do like though is that since Hal Jordan is wherever he's at, he's not even in his own book anymore. Since he is gone, I like it though that he's not there in Justice League or anywhere in the DCU. So I like that. I like how even if somebody is gone, that they're gone from other books. Unlike Marvel, where Wolverine can be gone in one series but be in the next series, and just I like the way how DC is kind of moving everything along and having everything feel like it's in the same world. But other than that, that's it for this video. I want you guys to give me a name for this new segment I'm doing, because I really like what everyone else is doing, especially What the Fury is awesome, and Sleepy Readers vlogs are awesome, and I just want you guys to give me a name for it that I can call my vlog. So next time, I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but it'll be something that'll catch my eye and what's going on in DC Comics, Marvel Comics, or Image, or Dark Horse, or any other comic line that I read. Most likely it'll be DC, because that's what I mostly read, because I absolutely love the characters. And the New 52 brought me back into buying floppies, and I've been enjoying it ever since. I got my big old collection, which I actually went and organized every single issue and put stickies onto what books are where and organized them all. And that was actually quite fun. It was like you should have seen me like as I was going through all my comics. I had them all around me. I was just like, I feel like what's his name, the duck that goes and jumps into his pile of money and just starts swimming in it. That's how I felt with my comics. It was just so much fun. And it makes me glad that I'm a comic book reader. I mean, there's a lot of people who think that comics are not art, but goddamn, I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. I love watching you guys' videos, and I just love this community that we're making. And congratulations to all those people that made it onto the Avengers Inc. Plus. Congratulations to all you guys. So I'll see, especially Fat Stack of Comics. I love you guys. Your videos are awesome, especially your intros. Good stuff. Alright guys, I'll see you guys next time.